Hello and welcome back to round 13?
Yes, exactly.
Round 13 it is at Cannes Special Championships.
I'm Philipp Schulz. I'm here with Lydia Hombach. And yeah, we're happy to bring you around 13. We sadly had an issue with the online pairings. We didn't get them in time, so we just took the highest table available, which is table 2. So we are seeing Robin Schulz earlier than expected again. This time against Joshua, who we've seen yesterday. They are both playing the Zapdos deck, and yeah, they are almost ready to go, so we will jump right into the game. Because other players are doing their setup. Of course, this is a mirror match. We've seen both players on stream before. And yeah, both have teched out interesting variants of the deck, of the standard Zapdos deck.
So this will be a Zapdos analysis in detail.
Yeah, it's more or less a mirror match. We see Robin opening with a Blitzel versus Joshua with the Jirachi. So Robin is playing the same version as he played in Oceania. We've seen him on stream before, we've seen him on stream in Oceania, we've seen Bert Walters with the same deck perform, so everyone basically knows his deck by now, everyone knows how powerful it is. And Joshua, on the other side, he plays the version, if I remember correctly, and I'm pretty sure I do, he plays a fighting tagged version of the Zapdos deck. So he plays,
yes, he does. He plays the Lucario.
Exactly, the 1/1 Lucario line and the one Buzzwole as well.
So in case you haven't been watching our stream yesterday, Joshua was on stream yesterday in
the win and in.
Yeah,
he faced against Benjamin Pham.
Yeah, the win and in, yes, exactly.
He faced Benjamin Pham in the 9th round with Benjamin's Zorak deck, and he put in lots of work with his Lucario GX, being able to take multiple prizes, and of course he also benefited by Benjamin having his Alolan Grimer in the prizes 2 games. Very
that was unfortunate.
Yeah, it's like one of the biggest key cards in the match. He even played the Nanu to make sure he gets it out, but here both players play for Jirachi. No Mug will be seen in this game. They want to get the engine going. However, they do play the Absol, which is kind of like the stand-in Alolan Mug. It's supposed to make those Jirachis weaker. It doesn't shut them down completely, but it certainly helps, making those escape bots way less valuable.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, Joshua's going first, having 2 Jirachis, and yeah, he's using a Faulkner and taking his time to look through his deck, picking up a Zapdos, attaching energy to it, basically getting going. He won't be able to attack this turn, of course, because it's the first one, so Robin will have the opportunity to get the first knockout and while going second. So this is, I mean, it's a very underdeveloped board. There's not much happening, but it's already an interesting situation because many players are debating whether or not you want to go first in the Zapdos mirror match. Because of course the player that goes second is the first
to attack.
Exactly, and you know the Zapdos deck, it takes a prize turn 1 and then it takes a prize turn 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's it. That's how the deck works. So many players are thinking, do I really want to go first? I mean, going first is traditionally such a big advantage, but it also means that your opponent will be ahead in the prize trade.
Oh, and we see a huge turn from Robin. He was able to get Joshua's only Zapdos in the active position. He has the Electro Power, he takes the knockout, and Joshua is now left with only 2 Jirachi.
Yes. So this is even bigger than you might think, because Joshua was preparing the Zapdos for next turn, thinking, yeah, I'll be ready to get going, and Robin's like, no, I'm gonna take away your attacker. And Joshua only plays 7 Lightning Energy, if I'm mistaken. He opted to go with basic Fighting Energy over the Rainbow Energies, which we see in Robin's deck. So Robin is the one having more energies at his disposal in this matchup. And Joshua, 1 energy down, 1 prize, so 5 more energies to go. However, he does play a very high Faulkner count. And with Faulkner, of course, I see one in his hand. It will allow him to search his deck for an energy into the Nest Ball, for example, for Zapdos. However, I don't see an Electro Power in his hand, nor do I see a Ball Search, so he will have a hard time getting a knockout on this Zapdos.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, he needs a lot, and it doesn't seem like he has anything he can work with.
Yeah, I mean, he does have options, but yeah. He certainly doesn't have, I mean, his board is basically nothing right now, right? Okay,
yeah.
So he used 1 Jirachi, retreat into the other one, see if he can get something more to work with. Getting an Ultra Ball.
Joshua's deck is very
so bling. Yeah, you will probably go Ultra Ball, get a Zapdos, attach an Energy Vent, then use Faulkner for an Escape Rope, I believe. pretty sure he plays one, was Zapdos decks to play them a lot.
Oh, and he's discarding his Lucario line.
Yeah, it's not the most useful when your opponent has fighting resistance. So yeah, he would just hit 100 on a Zapdos and putting a GX on the board, which is something he doesn't want to do. So he's realizing,
not at all.
This Lucario, it's not in here for this matchup. Let's just throw it away. I don't need to see this guy again.
Actually, he's in a quite lucky position to be able to get these cards out of his deck as soon as possible. And
where I expected a Faulkner for for an escape rope, he just went for a Guzma. And instead, I wanted to point out that an escape rope is the same thing as the Guzma here, so it's a nice thing that you don't have to use the supporter on it. However, he has the Guzma, he doesn't need the supporter for turn. And Robin only having the Zapdos on board really hurts him, because now it is in the active and Zapdos is not what you usually want to see there.
No, definitely not. You want it to be on the bench at the beginning of your turn.
Exactly. So you can send it up in the active and then deal damage. Also, Robin can't Guzma here because he needs another Pokemon. I mean, he can Guzma but will attack for 10, so no real point in doing that.
No, not really.
The Blitzel being knocked out might also become big later on, because this Blitzel is amazing. This Blitzel can evolve into Zepstrika, and it then is an amazing draw card. Being able to use Sprint whenever you need more. You need to see more cards, you want more.
I mean, Robin currently has no support Pokemon in game, so...
And he's Ultra Balling for an Absol. Also throwing away one of his valuable Guzmas, thinking that, yeah, my opponent only plays very frail Pokemon, so Guzma's nice and all, but what I need to do is just keep going. So I need my draw supporters more than I need this Guzma. And he's opting to search for an Absol, wanting to disrupt Joshua's engine. Joshua having those Jirachis, having an escape bot on one of them, and Robin attaches to the Absol.
I can literally hear your surprise.
Yeah, but the Absol is not too bad. For 3 energies, it can take a knockout on a Zapdos, so that's fine. It is, however, a 3 energy commitment, so it is quite a lot. However, Robin plays the Lily, so of course he wants to play down his hand before, wants to draw as many cards as possible. His hand, his board was very weak, his hand probably not the greatest either. He finds the switch, he finds the Electro Power, Absol only has one retreat.
Retreats the Absol.
So he can get the knockout on the Zapdos again.
It's amazing how Robin can do that. I mean, looking at his board alone, there's not much going on.
Exactly, that's just how the Zapdos deck works, right? It's stunning to see. Every time at the beginning of a turn it looks like their board is just so underdeveloped, so weak, so frail, and then they manage to pull out the craziest knockouts. Okay,
the craziest.
To admit, it is only 110, but surely we have seen scenarios where such a board could have turned into a 200 damage attack.
Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true.
And Joshua finding an Electro Power for himself with his Jirachi, using a Faulkner, so he can search out a Lightning Energy and an item, probably wanting like something like a Nest Ball or a Rescue Stretcher, or just whatever to get him a Zapdos. Maybe a switching card if he already has a Zapdos.
There's the Rescue Stretcher.
So yeah.
And
we will see some of his Zapdos return. I very much doubt that he will go for the Lucario line.
Are you sure?
Most guys are in the discard pile for a reason. And he has to keep up with the pressure from Robin. Robin basically going for the road where he just knocks out the attack of your opponent every turn. Joshua, on the other hand, just knocking out the other Pokemon, like the easier to knock out support Pokemon, getting rid of them and having the Zapdos of Robin stuck in the active afterwards.
I mean, it makes sense in Robin's position because he managed to get the Electro Powers, so he's able to deal that higher damage. So of course he's going for that higher HP attacking Zapdos and not for the lower HP Jirachi that he can KO anyways.
Exactly, and there we see the escape rope that turned into a Guzma, getting this Absol in the active and getting it knocked out with the Electro Power. This is of course very nice for Joshua. With this Absol gone, Robin has no way of disrupting him anymore. No Marshadow in his deck, no Judge, nothing like a Lowland Mark or something similar. This Absol really the only disruptive thing in Robin's deck. And again, Robin forced to find an answer to his Zapdos being stuck in the active position. We also see a switch and an escape rope in his prices, so he's pretty low on switching options right now.
Yeah, we've just gotten the deck lists, and looking at them, switching options seem very usual.
Yeah, Robin plays 2 escape rope, 3 switch, 2 escape board. So compared to the straight Zapdos version, rather low, about the same amount. No, actually, Joshua plays a higher amount of switching cards with a 3rd escape rope in his deck. Robin, I believe, has played 2 switches / escape rope, so he's still 1 switch gone. So I think he has only a single escape rope and his 2 escape boards left in his deck to get the Zapdos out of the active. Of course,
I mean, he can still retreat manually.
Yeah, if he manually retreats, he would need his Tapu Koko Prism or Thunder Mountain to get an attack off. But of course, he also has the Guzma option, so there's still plenty of things left Robin can do. And there we see the Tapu Koko Prism and escape board, and we see a Lily. So Robin probably either looking for an escape rope here to take a knockout on the Jirachi, or maybe, if he can't find it, another Electro Power would certainly not be bad.
Yeah.
So Robin drawing cards with Lily, reconsidering his options, looking what he can go for, mapping out how to not miss a beat in this close matchup, having another Zapdos so he can get maximum value out of his Tapu Koko Prism,
and we
and
see an
having
escape
the escape
rope.
Interestingly, using the escape rope before the Tapu Koko probably has an energy in hand, exactly. So he wants to keep the Tapu Koko for later. No need to use it.
I mean, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, exactly. No need to use it right now. And he's taking a easy knockout on one of the Jirachis, going down to 3 prizes.
Yeah, he's keeping the pace. He
So
was ahead
only-
in prices. He still is ahead in prices.
He's
That's
keeping
how
it
the
up,
mirror works.
not missing any knockouts so far. And next turn he can allow himself the luxury to use the draw supporter again, because he has that. This time he will have the Zapdos with the skateboard and the energy as a retreat option.
And if things go really, really bad, he still has the Tapu Koko Prism, so...
Also, right now Robin's board is quite bulky. Like, I mean, it's 110 HP Pokemon, but you rarely see a situation in which there's no really slow and really small Pokemon on the board for the Zapdos deck. Joshua
that
going
also
for the
forces
Buzzwole.
Joshua to have some damage
Exactly, he needs
multipliers.
Exactly, he needs like an Electro Power to knock out the Zapdos. He can't go for Guzma on something on an easy target because there simply are no easy targets. They're basically just these Zapdos sitting around being ready to take Robin's last remaining prizes.
Oh, I saw Jasper's in the chat. Jasper, please behave.
Oh, poor little Jasper. Leave the guy alone.
Yeah, Jirachi going to sleep, making another Stella wish.
Those Jirachis really like sleeping more than we do. we on the other side have to be up at 6 AM to set up the stream for you guys. Both Jirachis in the meantime taking naps left and right.
They're cute and little.
Yeah. And Joshua looking for a knockout, looking for an Electro Power here, having the Jirachi with the skateboard in the active, and the Zapdos on the bench. He searched out the Buzzwole earlier, but it's already past his Sledgehammer turn. So this Buzzwole won't be able to do quite a lot. He still can use the Beast Energy so to boost the damage output a little bit. However, the Zapdos do have fighting resistance, so against the Zapdos it will hardly do anything. It might be able to knock out something else for maybe a Jirachi with a Kukui or something like that, who knows. Maybe the Tapu Koko Prism star at some point.
Yeah, maybe Joshua is also at the point where he is afraid of the Tapu Koko GX.
Also, he certainly wants to thin out his deck, and having this Buzzwole on the bench always has the advantage of having some big wall that you can send up if your opponent uses escape rope.
Yeah, it's quite bulky.
A common strategy is to just use escape rope so your opponent sends up something small, and he now has this Buzzwole to tank a hit. Also, he has the Wobbuffet, which is pretty strong in this situation, rendering the Tapu Koko Prism Star completely useless. Because its ability says that both players can't actually, if a opponent can't use any Prism Star cards anymore, as long as the Wobbuffet is on your bench. So this Tapu Koko Prisms, actually, I'm not sure if it's played down or no, actually they don't have abilities anymore, something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but what I am sure of is that this Tapu Koko Prism Star is now useless for the time being.
I mean, that's what's important, right?
Yeah, it's like, it can be very useful. Robin will be forced to find more energies. Also, Joshua showing another interesting tech in the B-string. So he will. So that's the reason why he chose not to play Rainbow Energies but Basic Fightings instead, being able to charge energies onto his Buzzwole now.
Oh, and it's now able to use its second attack.
Also, of course, Robin doesn't need any energies currently because of Thunder Mountain. So his Zapdos attack for free right now anyways. So Tapu Koko Prism Star not being the biggest deal right now, but it might come in handier because for the last prize you can usually use your Tapu Koko GX. Oftentimes we see players do that. Just use the Tapu Koko GX, it's the last prize when it doesn't matter anymore, else can knock out anything in Joshua's deck.
Yep.
And here Joshua has the Electro Power.
Zapdos.
Having the Buzzwole ready as well. And Joshua's like, slap away with the Zapdos. And Robin once again under pressure to find this knockout.
Yeah, Robin is always in the situation where he has to answer.
Exactly. This is how the matchup goes. One of the players is ahead because he went second, but in the same time, it's usually the player that's struggling more because the other player had an additional turn. They could set up their board more properly. They had another turn of using a draw supporter.
They have an additional energy.
Exactly, they had time to prepare, and the player that goes second, on the other hand, can't miss a beat, has to Guzma all the time, has to attack. It's just, he's the pacemaker of the game because he's ahead, but at the same time, he's the one under pressure because he's most likely to with the attacks.
Yeah, and actually that makes these mirror matches quite interesting to watch. There is a certain tension watching these matches. You know that none of these players is allowed to miss a key card.
Exactly. The interesting decisions already start with the opening flip because going second or not is often game deciding here. And then afterwards there's always the question, do you go for the attackers, do you go for the Jirachis, what to target down, when to use which attacker, can you get value out of something like your Buzzwole, your Nihilego.
So many fundamental questions in these mirror matches.
And Joshua checking the Tapu Koko again, making sure that it has a fighting weakness and this Buzzwole will be able to knock it out. At the same time being quite the wall out there, having 130 HP. Joshua also having no easy targets on his bench now, as Robin took out the Jirachi. The Tapu Koko Prism should be going to the Lost Zone, I think, except if there's a weird interaction with the Wobbuffet, but I really don't think so.
Yeah, I think it should be in the Lost Zone, but
it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it makes no difference.
This is a common mistake.
I mean, Robin will eventually find out.
As soon as a player plays a rescue stretcher, something like that, and sees it, oh, it's in the discard pile, it should be in the Lost Zone. Everyone knows that it can't be recovered, so it really doesn't really matter. Robin
there's a Jirachi.
Going for a Jirachi, seeing that he needs some more consistency, needs to get extra cards.
I think he's
checking his deck to make sure which resources are left. He knows that his second escape rope is in the prizes, so this might hurt him. You will have to use a Guzma or deal with this Buzzwole that's in the active position. But he already used multiple electro powers, so he will have a really hard time taking the knockout with Buzzwole.
And there's the Nihilego!
However, the Nihilego is kind of saving him here. His opponent being at 2 prizes, meaning that he can use it to copy any attack if he has a Rainbow Energy. And the Buzzwole
is weak to Psychic.
Exactly, so the Nihilego coming in pretty nice. His tech option here, being able to knock out the Buzzwole.
But the question now, ladies and gentlemen, is does he have the Rainbow Energy?
And he retreats with Zapdos into Jirachi for... Oh no, he plays a switch, sorry. I was about to say he forgot to discover energy, but of course he played a switch here. Using Jirachi, probably looking for a draw supporter, something like that. something that can give him a rainbow energy. Thinking about what to take, considering his options. Joshua sitting there being like, come on man, just whiff, I set up this perfectly, I have my board ready, all of my Pokemon have a high amount of HP, you have to miss this.
Yeah, and you see Robin really struggling to decide. Must be a tough decision.
Yeah, Robin checking his discard pile again. He probably has options to get something, to get going this turn. He has one Rainbow Energy in the prizes, so, and an Escape Rope, both cards that he would like to see at some point.
Oh, he goes for the Volkner.
Going for the Volkner.
What does that mean?
Well, he can search out an escape board. I'm pretty sure he has one left. He cannot search out a Rainbow Energy, so he would have to need a Rainbow Energy. He's making sure in his discard pile that he has what he needs left in his deck.
And we're seeing an
Ultra Ball and a Lightning Energy.
So it might mean that he's sacrificing this Jirachi.
I don't know. Let's see.
Maybe he's going for the Tapu Koko DX.
Yeah, Tapu Koko would be able to pick up the knockout here as well. Thanks to the Thunder Mountain, it would only need 2 energies. There's already 1 in play, so he would just have to attach another energy
and
to
if
take a knockout there.
And
of course, the Tapu Koko is not an easy knockout. It has 170 HP.
I mean, now that the Buzzwole would be gone on Joshua's side, Joshua doesn't really have a way to respond to it.
Yeah, like Tapu Koko doesn't have a fighting weakness anyways, so it doesn't matter too much. Joshua would need Zapdos with Electro Powers anyways, so he needs 3 damage modifiers. Seeing a choice band in his prizes, he already used, let's see, I think it looks like 2 Electro Powers.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Seeing his hand, doesn't look like he has much. Using the ability of Tapu Koko, this is just such a great and versatile attacker. Also in this situation,
Rescue Stretcher.
As I mentioned, quite bulky. Rescue Stretcher getting back the Absol.
Oh, that's a smart play.
Making it as hard as possible for Joshua to win next round, putting him on the clock, being ready to take his last prize next turn. Robin going down to 1, and now it's on Joshua. If he can respond to this Tapu Koko, or if it's too much to handle for him. Joshua thinking hard about what to promote, what to do now.
I mean, Joshua is in a position where he could potentially end the game if he finds a way to knock out this Tapu Koko GX. So,
yeah, he has 2 options. Like, he can either get a switch and 3 damage modifiers, or he can send up whatever, get another energy into play, use his own Tapu Koko and 2 damage modifiers to use the normal attack. 130 plus 2 damage modifiers goes to 170 or 90. So like he could use something like Shrine of Punishments. Actually only an option if he has this Tapu Koko Prism Star as well, but it is in the prizes if I see it correctly. There's some glare, but I'm very sure it's the Tapu Koko Prism Star.
Yeah, it is the Tapu Koko Prism Star.
So his own Tapu Koko, unfortunately not an option for him. Would be a very strong card right here because it would only need 1 Electro Power or Choice Band and then a Shrine of Punishment on some other damage modifier. But yeah, it's not available for him, so he needs a Zapdos and 3 damage modifiers. It looks like he has
1 Electro Power in hand. Oh no, that's actually an Escape Rope.
Escape Rope, yes.
He plays the secret rare versions of all the cards, so that makes them hard to tell them apart.
He doesn't really have much. It's looking pretty bad. The Escape Rope is unfortunate for him because he cannot use it this turn. It would mean sending the Tapu Koko back to the bench and then it would be over because, well,
over.
Yeah, it would be over for him. He doesn't have a Guzma, like, he doesn't have Guzma plus everything in his hand. So if the Tapu Koko goes to the bench and Joshua wants to send up a Jirachi, so with a switching card, attaching an Escape Rope to the Jirachi maybe, which doesn't really matter. But he can't use Lily or something before, and he can't use the Escape Rope before the Lily because it would mean sending the Tapu Koko, so he can't burn that. And yeah, so he just has to play down a few cards to Escape Board, play down the Jirachi, attach an energy, and use the Lily. Well, actually, he can't even draw the perfect cards because it's just not enough. He needs 3 damage modifiers and a switching card. He has none of these in his hand right now.
He's lowering down his hand, so it seems like he's preparing for the Lily.
Yeah, but with the Lily, he only draws 3 cards, if I'm not mistaken. No, actually 4, so he might be drawing the perfect 4. And it doesn't look like it.
I mean, he still has 1 Jirachi.
Yeah, however, Robin's hand size seems to be rather low. He used a lot of cards last turn, so I'm not sure what exactly he has. Maybe he doesn't have a Guzma, maybe he doesn't have a switching option.
There's an escape rope.
Escape rope. Robin thinking about what to send up. Considering the Nihilego, might send up the Jirachi as well, because, well, what's Joshua gonna take the knockout with?
I mean, even if he knocks out the Jirachi, it doesn't really matter for Robin.
Exactly. It's just that he might want to send up the Jirachi because it can retreat quite easily. Well, actually, Robin still has a skateboard left, I think. So it's the easiest retreat option.
I mean, Robin knows what he does.
Yeah, certainly. The Nihilego, being a tanky Pokemon, and Joshua concedes, seeing that he can't do anything. Robin's ready to take the game next turn. He only had a single card left in his hand, being a single Rainbow Energy. So maybe Joshua could have replaced the stadium with something else, waited for a bit. Maybe he could have gotten his Tapu Koko online later on, but he decided that it's not worth it. This situation is just too bad. Robin has everything he needs on the board. He would, and Robin was ready to take this game, and Joshua scoops it up. Realizes that it took over 25 minutes for this first game to finish.
Oh, but that was a close series.
Yes, it was, and it showed the intricacies of this matchup. It showed that the going first or second is not a linear decision. It's not as simple as, oh yeah, you go second, you take a prize every turn. I mean, Robin won that way, but it was certainly...
It was close.
It was certainly very close.
Joshua was very close to getting that swing around.
Being... the pun on the Buzzword's attack being a turning point in the game where he put up the Buzzword and was like, I have tanky Pokemon. Robin being forced to use the Tapu Koko, and when the Tapu Koko Prism stuff being priced on Joshua's side, coming in huge, so he couldn't power up his own Tapu Koko GX to take the knockout on Robin's Tapu Koko.
And we see both players setting up, they're placing their prize cards.
And yeah, I'm very curious to see what Joshua chose now. Will he go first again? Yes, and he's comfortable in his strategy. He went first. Considered that, all things considered, I think this was fine. With a bit more luck, I can win this, and he goes for the same strategy again, going first, opting to start the game. He opens with a Zapdos, which is by no means ideal, because it has a retreat cost of 2, so it's relatively hard to get out of there. But it's pretty fine. It's basically this deck doesn't really have bad openers. The Buzzwole is not great because it's not a good attacker early on. The Riolo is not too great because it's not very useful in this matchup and it's an easy prize. And the Tapu Koko GX is the only really bad starter opener for.
Yeah, you don't want that GX to be on the field.
Exactly, opening the Tapu Koko GX is just so bad in so many ways. It is a GX, it's an easy knockout for your opponent, it's making your opponent aware of its existence, and sometimes people like to forget it. It can't use its ability because it's a come into play ability. So many things that get turned that are just against it. And here, the prize is looking pretty fine for both players. Robin having priced 2 Guzma, but it's not too huge. We didn't see many lots of Guzmas last turn. It's more about those Electro powers.
I mean, those Guzmas come rather handy in the later game, so Robin should be fine. And I mean, it looks like Robin's going to draw into a Guzma on his first prize anyways.
Yes,
so.
exactly. No matter which side he starts on, it should be a Guzma.
And we see an Energy and a Tapu Koko Prism Star on Joshua's side.
And yeah, Joshua getting out Jirachi, getting Tapu Koko Prism Star, getting ready, setting up his board to look fine. He probably wants... Oh, okay, he's playing a switch or an escape rope. Looks like a switch to put up Jirachi. getting to see some more cards, taking another switch. Probably doesn't really want this Jirachi to stay in the active position just because it's such an easy knockout for Robin. But yeah, doesn't have any other option, doesn't care too much,
and it wakes up.
Doesn't want to burn another switch. Jirachi is now fit, had enough of sleep, but Robin looking
Only
to
short
take
power nap.
Yeah, looking to take it down as soon as it woke up. This looks like a bad morning for Jirachi.
Oh, it should have better kept sleeping.
But Robin, in the last game, he went for a turn 1 Guzma Electro Power play to knock out the Zapdos. He might try to repeat it. Joshua was able to recover from it rather easily though, so maybe taking out this Jirachi, taking Joshua's engine off the board is a bad idea. Also,
I mean, we need to see what Robin actually has to work with.
Yeah, it's also certainly easier to accomplish. Having the Jirachi in the opening position is, however, always a great thing.
Yeah, Robin wasn't able to get these early game Jirachi Stellar wishes going because he simply had no access to Jirachis. But this turn he can do at least some kind of setup to
no, this time he has the Jirachi having its flexibility, being able to pick what he wants, getting another nest ball, also proper sequencing, using his nest ball before the Jirachi to fill out some non-trainer cards that he doesn't want to see with a Stellar Wish.
Yeah, sometimes it's about those little things.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't think it might happen, it might matter, you think it might not matter in the end. It probably doesn't, but it does, it helps a bit.
But
and a bit adds up to a bit, exactly. Like, a bit adds up to a bit, and the probability that you do well gets higher and higher, and if you do it over 10 years, this starts really adding up. And if you look from the perspective 10 years ago and think, yeah, I'm gonna sequence this one thing properly for the next 10 years, your probability to do good over this time becomes so much higher.
Yeah. Very true.
Just a little thought on the side. But yeah, Robin going for a nest ball on the Blitzel, looking to get up this engine that he couldn't get going last turn, using a Faulkner, building up his board a little more, getting a nest ball and an energy, playing the third nest ball.
And there's the Absol. That's actually huge because it distracts Joshua a lot.
Yeah, and one of Joshua plays his own Absol, and no, it does not like it. It does not look like it. He seems like he opted for the Wobble Thread. It can come in handy sometimes in the mirror to shut off the Tapu Koko Prism. It's mainly in the deck against Ditto Prism Star, however. So if your opponent puts down Grimer and Ditto Prism Star, you can put down Wobbuffet and Guzma the Grimer, so both are useless and your opponent doesn't get out a loaded muck.
I mean, Joshua seems to play a rather tact version of the deck. He plays the Riolu and Lucario line, so
yeah, he seems to
at some point you just have to cut cards that straight versions of the deck play. So
yeah, he seems to very much dislike my boy Zorak. Playing the Lucario, playing the Buzzwole, and even the Wobbuffet, all cards that you tag in this deck for the Zorak matchup.
Do you feel personally attacked?
Oh, it's fine.
Okay, good.
If I were Stefan, maybe I would feel offended by it, but even Stefan switched away from his Zorak deck, expecting players like Joshua attacking against him. And yeah, Robin took the knockout on the Jirachi, and now it's on Joshua, who needs to respond with a knockout here. Because Robin's board is looking quite nicely. He has the Blitzer ready to evolve into a Substriker. He has Jirachi. He has Tapu Koko Prism Star to accelerate some energies. Like a skateboard basically being the only card missing on his side of the board. But yeah,
he will eventually find one.
Exactly, a switching option is not exactly a big thing missing. Meanwhile, Joshua going for Faulkner. I don't know if we mentioned it, but he opted to go for this 4 Faulkner. Being a card that you rather don't see often in these aggressive decks. It's a nice one-off, it gives you even more control, so you already have a lot of control over your deck, thanks to the amazing ability of Jirachi being able to pick up trainers from the top of your deck, and the Faulkner being then able to search your deck for specific items as well. Allows you to have so much control over your entire deck.
You can search for the Electro Powers, for example, getting that damage multipliers just when you need them.
Exactly, like having a Faulkner to get this third or maybe even fourth Electro Power in a single turn can lead to some crazy plays that can turn around the whole game.
yeah, I mean, they really power up.
Yeah, we've seen many top players really liking those Falconers, especially Pedro Torres, who plays 4 Falconer in his deck as well. We saw him yesterday on stream, winning a convincing series. And yeah,
Rescue Stretcher, getting the cute little Jirachi back, and
getting
putting
Jirachi
it
back,
to sleep.
Playing a switch to get it active. Joshua now played a lot of switching cards already. There's an Absol on Robin's bench, which you can't see, unfortunately. It's to the far left of his board. But yeah, this ability of Absol is active, the big image, the big picture, reminding everyone of Absol's ability.
It's there.
It's there, and it's making Joshua's life harder. And skateboard won't be enough to retreat with Jirachi. Lots of switches already gone for him. And escape drop in his prizes as well. And with all of that, will he be able to take a response? And no, this is huge. Robin being already ahead, having now the opportunity to acquire 2 prizes up. There's no Absol on Joshua's side of the field, so Robin's Jirachis are free to retreat for a single energy or an escape board.
Yeah, Robin can now work on his...
Playing as Cynthia,
prices. On the price race.
Exactly.
He's currently leading.
Yeah, exactly. And he basically has all the engine parts on his board, while Joshua doesn't. All he has is this Wobbuffet, shutting down Robin's Tapu Koko Prism Star once again. But Robin doesn't really need it. He has an energy on board already. So all he needs is like... Well, he needs quite a bit actually. He needs Switch to get his Zapdos on the bench. He attached the Choice Band onto the Zapdos. An interesting choice, it might as well have gone to something else. But he's probably thinking, yeah, I'm gonna attack with the Zapdos. I could technically attach Escape Board, retreat it into another Zapdos, but with the Tapu Koko Prism Star being shut down, this is so much energy requirement. He wants his Choice Band there, and he wants the option to attach Escape Board to all these one retreat Pokemon on his bench.
I mean, attaching the Choice Band doesn't really hurt as well.
Yeah, I mean, he could otherwise, if the Choice Band wasn't there, he could have the option to attach an Escape Board there to retreat, to get it out of the active. Now he's forced to get a Switch or an Escape Rope. But yeah, he has the Sprint ability already in play, using Sprint as well, throwing away Buzzwole, a Rescue Stretcher, a Jirachi. He doesn't need them, he already has 2. A Shrine of Punishment, looking if he can find of these 4 cards any switching option.
He doesn't look happy.
He never looks happy. At least in-game, he certainly doesn't. It's just the Robin plays Pokemon face, and no, he really didn't get anything. He just deals 10 damage, but it is not the end of the world for him. He is still ahead on the price trade. He has the Striker going.
I mean, 10 damage is certainly something you can start working
also, of course, my bad. I'm forgetting the Absol as well. The omnipresent big picture of Absol is gone, so I forgot that it's on Robin's bench, but of course he can't bench another Zapdos. So the Choice Band, not being any risk, it truly has no drawback, as he said, because he can't put down another Zapdos anyway.
So, Joshua needs to do something.
Yeah, he probably wants a knockout on the Zapdos, but he might want to knock out the Zap Striker instead, if he gets the option. We saw him Stellar Wish. He used it last turn as well, so this turn he has more option. Might want to take out, might even want to take out the Absol on Robin's bench. So he has lots of interesting targets. The Zapdos being an interesting one because it's Robin's only attacker right now. But with the Striker being an important engine part, the Absol.
I mean, he has this one Striker and the 2 Jirachis, so chances that he is going to find another attacker are quite high.
Yeah. Also, he has the Jirachis being easy options, and yeah, he's going for the Jirachi, requiring the least out of all the Pokemon on Robin's board. Taking knockout on it, evening up the price count. And now it's on Robin to find a response to this. He's thinking about what to promote. He still has the second Jirachi on his bench, opting to not send it out Maybe he already has an Electro Power in his hand. Maybe he thinks he will find it anyway. The striker has the option to retreat for just 1 energy, which it already has. So it's a way to guarantee that Robin will not attack for 10 this turn. Puts down another Pokemon, can't see which one it is, but I'd expect it to be a Zapdos. Don't think there's much else that would make too much sense putting down right now. He's considering his hand, checking his discard pile. He might have some more attackers in his hand, considering if he wants to sprint, because there's a Rescue Stretcher already gone.
So he is putting something on his bench.
Yeah, I'd expect it to be a Zapdos and an energy.
Probably. We see an Electro Power.
See an Electro Power, yes. Discarding another energy. Also the Rescue Stretch, I'm not sure if it was at the top of his discard pile or if he discarded it. It could come in huge if it really was a discard this turn, because then he would be down. When 2 Rescue Stretcher would have been gone, this would also explain why Robin considered this sprint for well, a longer moment. Wasn't quite long, but it was more than just a short moment, so let's say it was a long moment.
And we see Zapdos attacking with Thunder's Assault, KOing Joshua Zapdos, and Robin again being in lead in the prize race.
Fortunately, we didn't get to see what this mysterious Pokemon on Robin's bench is. Kind of reminds me of those old Pokemon rap songs. What's this Pokemon? But yeah, we don't even get a silhouette to work with. And
Joshua, too bad.
Joshua opting to send up his Jirachi. Really, the Pokemon that makes a lot of sense, right? It's his engine. He wants to use this ability. He needs to send up something so his Zapdos can attack again. And yeah, Robin, as I mentioned, if he's down 2 Rescue Stretchers, he only plays 2. He also only plays 3 Zapdos because he included lots of tech Pokemon in his list. So he has the Zapdos, he has the Nihilego. So he has to make space for it somehow. Also, he attacks with those. He takes a lot of prizes with these techs. So, not using Zapdos that much, only playing 3, but yeah, with 2 Zapdos being on his board, 2 Rescue Stretchers gone.
Potentially 2 Zapdos on his board.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'd say probably, but potentially. So,
and we see an Erica.
And here, Erica, great supporter. We've talked about it a couple times. Just kind of two-edged sword, situational supporter, but a really great one. Being able to draw 6 cards with it, if he opts to play it, if he even can. And yeah, he does. Also, one thing worth mentioning is that the Tapu Koko Prison Star is already shut down by the Vanoverschelde.
Yep.
So it's harder for Robin to use the Tapu Koko GX. So with Tapu Koko GX potentially being too hard to power up for Robin, the 2 Rescue Stretchers gone, Robin might run out of attackers, or at least he might have a hard time drawing into the right attackers at the right time here.
I mean, he can search for them.
Yeah, he still has some balls in his deck left. He played a couple of Nest Balls earlier, but he plays a very high amount of Pokemon Search, having 4 Nest Ball, 3 Ultra Ball, making sure that he gets those tech Pokemon in the right turn, because...
And he does also have the Jirachi to search for his Nest Balls and Ultra Balls.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, Joshua realizing it's the Sledgehammer turn, but unfortunately not finding a switching option again. This episode potentially putting in lots of work for Robin. I mean, I'm not sure what Joshua has. He might have not have had access to an escape board anyways, but this episode reducing the amount of outs Joshua has to retreat for Jirachi, of course coming in huge. And Robin now having the opportunity to get a knockout on the Jirachi, go down to 3 prizes, rendering this Buzzwole much weaker. And he plays a switch,
and
setting
we see
up
the second Zapdos.
Mysterious second Zapdos, just as expected.
And again, Robin is in the position where Joshua was not able to catch up on prizes, and he now is even more in the lead. in the prize race.
Also, this now means that Robin won't run out of attackers because he has 2 Zapdos on board and he has 1 left in his deck. Oh, actually, he might still. But still 1 attacker missing. But he also has 2 energy on board thanks to this missed knockout by Joshua. So the Tapu Koko GX becomes a huge threat once again.
And he dodged the sledgehammer turn.
Yes, exactly. But Joshua is able to power up the swing around once again, taking out with the striker with swing around.
Yeah, I mean, there's no use in going after the Zapdos because there are 2 of them, but KOing the support Pokemon always hurts.
Yeah, exactly. Also, like, this Boxwell has an easy time knocking out the striker thanks to the fighting weakness. And yeah, the striker, such a powerful card. It's the only evolved card in Robin's deck. All the other Pokemon are basics. So yeah, this just shows how strong this Zip Striker is, how valuable it is that Robin even is willing to accept that it's an evolved Pokemon, that he can't just put it down like all his other Pokemon. And
yeah, you have to put some work in it.
Also, Robin potentially having a hard time taking a knockout now. We've seen this last game already. This seems to be Joshua's strategy for the mirror match. He doesn't have any frail Pokemon left on this board. He's taking a knockout with the swing around. This Buzzwole requires 2 Electro Powers for the knockout. So Robin potentially having a hard time.
I mean, you need to catch up on prices. I feel like I'm being very repetitive, but that's what it's about. You need to catch up, so if you're the player who starts the game, you somehow need to force your opponent to give you a 2 prize card attacker, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, also Robin going second, taking those prizes, and Joshua meanwhile, he missed a few attacks, so he's down 2 prizes. Robin might even afford to 2-shot this Buzzwole. He would really like to find an escape board here for sure, so he can have his Jirachi retreat for free. And
we see a Lily.
Also Joshua being on 4 prizes means that Robin can use his Buzzwole Sledgehammer as well this turn. But yeah, having the Lily, not having the Buzzwole means that... Oh yeah, the Buzzwole's in the discard pile, never mind, my bad. He discarded earlier on and the rescue stretchers are gone as well. So he cannot use Sledgehammer. So yeah, Robin looking for a knockout here. The Lily giving him should give him quite a few extra cards. He used an Ultra Ball.
Yeah, we will see. Maybe he can still play his hand down a little bit.
His hand size is probably pretty low anyway.
There's a Nihilego, Beast Energy.
Beast Energy. Actually, what does it
we've seen that before.
I know its other attack is something like Confuse and Poison, I believe. So this might coming.
Your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused and poisoned.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, I wasn't entirely sure because I wasn't entirely sure because this attack almost never comes up. The Nihilego is not in the deck for this attack. And Robin using Electro Power and Guzma, considering for a moment if he should take out the Wobbuffet. Actually, I think it has less than 120. I'm pretty sure it has. Or if he wants to take out a Zapdos, going for the Zapdos.
But Robin isn't really under the pressure we've spoken about because he is in the lead.
Exactly, he's not only is he in the lead, he's 2 prizes ahead. Yeah. So that's a huge thing to consider. Robin basically has the time. Also, he doesn't need Tapu Koko Prism Star, so no need to target on the Wobbuffet because he has 3 energy on board. As I'd like to remember you that there's another. Actually, is there? Yes, there's another Zapdos on Robin's bench.
Zapdos with the choice band.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, Joshua took a knockout on the Striker last turn, so there are still both Zapdos powered up on Robin's board. There's this Nihilego threatening to get a knockout at some point later in the game.
So,
and yeah,
if you're Joshua, what's your winning option now?
He's basically looking to execute the same strategy. He doesn't want to put down any frail Pokemon. Probably wants a Guzma here to take a knockout with swing around again, taking out something like the like the Jirachi or the
Maybe the Absol.
Yeah, exactly. He can take either the Jirachi or Absol.
Is this Absol weak to fighting?
Yes.
Okay.
it's both easy knockout, otherwise you could flip a swing. Heads on swing around is pretty high chances as well, but I'm very sure it's
a 50% chance.
75.
Yeah, true. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. So...
Oh, apparently the attack is not affected by weakness?
Swing around is...
Oh, sorry.
Swing around is for sure. It has taken down so many Zoroarks, I would know.
Aww.
And yeah, Joshua going with a Faulkner again, does not have a Guzma, unfortunately, forcing Robin to send something else up. Robin considering for a moment, checking probably for electro powers in Joshua's discard pile, thinking if it's worth it, sending up the Zapdos. He might want to send up the Tapu Koko Prism Star. It has quite a lot. Actually, the Tapu Koko Prism Star is of course an easy knockout with the Buzzwole, so he's thinking about what he wants to let taken out. And yeah, it's the Tapu Koko Prism Star.
I mean,
doesn't want to risk
it's useless at the moment.
Yeah, he's fine with giving up the prize. And yeah, it's almost timeout for the players. They only have 3 seconds left.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's timeout.
In Robin's turn.
No, it's Joshua's turn.
Sorry, yeah.
It's still Joshua's turn, so Joshua's turn 0. And he's thinking about what to send up. And yeah, but time doesn't matter that much. Joshua still has... Robin still has enough turns to take the game, and Joshua opting to take the knockout with Zapdos and double Electro Power, interestingly.
Wow.
He's not going for the knockout with Swing Around. Instead, he uses a lot of more resources to take the knockout with the Zapdos. I'm not sure why exactly the Buzzwole isn't threatened to get knocked out by Nihilego, but maybe he figured that he wants to Guzma something, use this Buzzwole next turn.
That could very much be possible.
And yeah, Robin playing down another Jirachi, a Shrine of Punishment to thin out his deck, using Lily to draw some more cards, looking for an Electro Power here to take another knockout, and there it is. He still does not have an escape board, hasn't seen one all game, forced to retreat his Jirachi manually.
I mean, he's playing 2. He's only playing 2, we've talked about that.
Yeah, he's taking a knockout on his Zapdos. It's gonna be turn 2, Joshua's turn 2 of time, and this basically means that Robin Schulz will be the winner. He's 1-0 up. He's probably gonna... He has the opportunity to take the Series 2-0 if he can take his last prize in his next turn. And Joshua, it's the last turn for Joshua. He would need to take 3 prizes in a single turn.
We see Guzma.
Yeah, he just wants to play this game to the end. He's thinking, yeah, let's take out some more Jirachi. He probably doesn't like this boy. And Robin can use Nihilego's attack to copy Swing Around.
There's the handshake.
Taking the knockout. And it's over. Robin Schulz taking the series 2-0, advancing to 9-2-2. So it's 29 match points, so he can probably take an ID in the last round.
Do you know what that means? You were wrong.
Yeah, he didn't go 3-0-2. But he should still be in top 8, so I guess. Yeah, okay, thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Robin Schulz will ID the next round to make top 8, I assume. So maybe we will see him once more, even though we've seen him plenty of times already. And yeah, we'll take a short break. The next round should come up shortly, and see you guys.
Don't go anywhere, stay hydrated.